This week on Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I are talking about uppers and downers, Darkside that we missed out on, Cider Fest, Shortfuse, Mikerphone, and then we dive into, well, none of the events coming up this week because we talked too long, but there's been a lot of news. There's so much fun stuff happening in the beer scene this winter, so let's get into it. Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, the cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milkshake wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The Black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski,
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
and we're here to get up, get down.
Man, like strippers' booty cheeks go.
Oh, yeah?
Up and down.
Well, we even got the, bright silver pole here with the can. So, yeah, we're doing good. Oh, man. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. It was a busy weekend, and Nick went to other things.
Yeah, man.
But we got after it. We were out there.
The bases were covered. I'm like Brad's holding it down, so we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Relying on me, that's a dangerous thing to actually go to events, and I pulled it off.
Yeah, man.
But as always, we are drinking some local beer, and
Yes.
we had a delivery from around the bend last week, and so here we are drinking it. This hazy wonderland that they got here.
Yeah, this is recreational chemistry. So this is a little galaxy, a little mosaic, and looks like there are 4 different malts in here.
Okay. And this is part of their experimental hop series, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And then it looks like it's what Brad said, and this is the first descriptor in a long time where they're actually using like the scientific word behind like some of these things you taste. So this is cool. This is 6.7%.
Okay.
Yeah, and this will be a series.
Nice. It seems like I thought they had their juice trials series.
Was that? Yeah, you're right.
Why not continue that? Is this just juice trials with a new name? I don't know. It's pretty good.
I like it. It's hitting all those hazy IPA notes. It's a, dare I say, traditional.
Traditional haze.
Dare I say this is a traditional haze offering from the Around the Bend crew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, you usually see that. Sometimes you see the Citra instead of the Galaxy. That's kind of like the award-winning combo is Citra and Mosaic.
Yeah, you change the water chemistry a little bit, right? Make it a little softer. You go after this those fruity hops and make yourself a juicy IPA, man. A turbid IPA, like the folks at Goose would say. That's how.
Okay. But this one is also, it's kind of like darker than I don't know. Some of the ones you usually see are a little more on the lighter hue.
Yes.
This one just seems like.
This reminds you of that one from Solemn Oath that we were like, this tastes good, but this has a very murky look.
Right, and we found out it was, or they mentioned like they had issues with the cans and air was getting in there.
Oh.
So I wonder, sometimes you get like a dark color because air got into your can. So I don't know. This isn't that dark, so I don't know.
Yeah, those it's giving you those whatever those fruit nectar boxes are, Jumex, those boxes in the store.
Oh, okay.
It's giving you those vibes on appearance, so like just the way the juice looks, the way the beer looks. It looks like carbonated juice.
I've never got one of those before.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those.
Seem very sweet.
They're very, very decadent.
Yeah.
Very, very thick, very cloyingly sweet.
Perfect for Fat Tuesday.
Oh yeah, it is Fat Tuesday, and it's Punchki. Is that how you say it?
Punchki?
Punchki. Punchki. I was close.
You can say. Anyway, punch key is like the default. Like
I'm like, the shit is spelled Patchkey, and it's throwing everybody off. But it is
punch key.
Ponchkey. Right on.
Oh, they're good. Did you have one today?
No, I have not had one.
Oh, there's still a couple here.
Are there?
There is an apple and a strawberry rose.
I might go strawberry rose.
It's pretty good.
I might go strawberry rose right now.
Or we could have a stout later. You could pair it with that. Yeah.
I like your style, Brad.
So yeah, we're gonna keep drinking on this recreational chemistry. Mad scientist here, as we talk about our past week here.
Right on, man.
So let's see. You kind of kicked things off. Was it Friday? You were out in the sort of suburbs.
Yeah, man, near Rosemont and O'Hare.
Okay.
So that's Schiller Park.
Right.
Yeah, I ended up there for Shortfuse, which we've had on the show, but I didn't know much about them as a crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think my buddy Dan, I think they sent him a note saying, "Hey, let's send you some beer," and then he's like, "No, we're gonna show up." So then we.
If they want to send us some beer,
I'm like, why don't you just get the beer?
Did you walk away with beer then?
I think like a mixed 4-pack.
Oh, okay.
Like Lucy Juicy or something.
Yeah, that's their like juice series.
And something else, some kind of stout and something else.
Okay, because they have those like
Some milkshake thing.
they have like a milkshake series and their loose juice thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I'm sick of hazy beers, but I'm like, what are we doing here? We're all just gonna make the same. We're all gonna wear the same shirts and hats. Is that what we're doing? All of us?
I heavily agree. Although we're drinking, another hazy one, but it was sent to us.
Yeah.
And we definitely dig the Round the Bend folks. But I'm a hazy fatigue. Like I want like anything else when I go to a bar now.
I will say this, right? Like some of them, because a Hefeweizen is hazy, right? Mm-hmm. Some of them are on like the lemony kind of, tart, herbal spectrum. But then like body wise, they're just, they are not clear beers. They are hazy in appearance, but they taste they taste more like an IPA than a milkshake.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Some of these hazies.
I do like the ones that are a little more IPA-y.
Some of these hazies have a consistency of like almost a milkshake.
Yeah.
Some of them. Maybe that end of the pool of just kind of wearing me thin a little bit.
Yeah, the heavy juice and like that pastry stout thing. I never really enjoyed that, and now when I have them, I'm like, guys, this is why I never got on this, because over the weekend I had a cup of stuff. I poured it out.
It's big as fuck.
I was
right?
like, thanks for blending Oreos into my cup.
Yeah.
I would rather have Oreo ice cream.
There's a dead ringer for an Oreo on the nose.
Yeah,
dead ringer.
It is.
After that, you're like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. The grumpy old man in me is like, I don't want that in my beer. Give that to me in my ice cream, but I don't want it in my beer.
That's what this has turned into. This is a grumpy old man podcast here, man. This is a get off my lawn beer podcast. Oh no, we're talking about fucking Shortfuse.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to expect, so I started off my journey with Mikerphone.
Oh, okay. So you were like, I can't trust these guys. I'm going to go to these other guys that make these sweet beers and these hazy beers.
So shout out to Mikerphone. That's a nice little 1-2 step. I didn't realize they were both, if you're on your way to the airport, you could bang these two out and then go to O'Hare.
How far away is it really?
Like 9. No, this place is like 3 miles. Shortfuse.
From Mikerphone?
From Mikerphone, it's like 8 miles.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly close.
Okay. All right.
But they're in that direction, right? So I stopped at Mikerphone. I will come back to what I had there, but
why? You're saying you stopped there first.
Because what did I have? Because I was like trying to. I couldn't remember what I had, man. God, I suck today.
Oh, I know you didn't even post a picture. I didn't know you hit up that spot.
No, I hit up Mikerphone first, and I sat in the blue room. That's the extended part.
Okay.
And then I think, the Barrel Aged One Man Wrecking Crew, and one of their IPAs. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically 2 stouts. Oh, and Vanilla Noise, which
Okay.
was their rye. Imperial Vanilla Rye Stout. It was originally brewed with more.
Okay.
So that's what I had. Oh, see, it all came to me.
Okay, yeah. I almost picked up. I went to a new liquor store by my house. They had the Smells Like Bean Spirit, and I almost picked that up for us to drink, but then I knew we had this, so I skipped that. And it's a pricey 6-pack there. So
I was coming from the North Burbs, and I didn't really just want to, go to one spot. I'm like, hey, I'm over this way. I'm never really over this way. So, fuck it, I'm going to Mikerphone and Shortfuse. Mm-hmm. Shortfuse is a gigantic space, man.
yeah,
I'm like, dude, this place is huge.
they got parking lot.
Yeah, they got a parking lot. They got a kitchen. War comics kind of vibe on all the gear and all the walls. That was fun.
Like their Shortfuse is like more of a bomb kind of thing, and where Alarmist is like dynamite kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Oh, the brewer, he's only been there 3 months. His name was Brian Largo. He's a head brewer. He said he brewed at Goose for like 5 years.
Oh, cool.
And he also brewed at 1090 for about, 14 months.
1090, okay.
So, yeah, so we did ask him about, last year's walkout. Apparently there was a walkout, all the staff. But he was like, I've been here 3 months, man. I don't know. And he's like, let's talk about these hard kombuchas we got on draft.
Oh, they had hard kombuchas?
So they got a ton of hard kombuchas, maybe like 7 of them.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then they got
7?
They got 7 kombuchas on.
That's too.
That's a lot of kombucha. And then they have like 25 drafts. Dude, they have a 30-barrel system. They got a farm.
Because we got 25 drafts, 7 kombuchas.
Yeah.
You're basically destroying your lines, though.
Yeah, like how's that work? Are those kombuchas? Fuck, I should have asked him this. It's a good follow-up. Are the kombuchas like, how Goose used to sell the root beer, but they didn't make the root beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Is it
they
like,
making the root beer? Or
are they making the kombucha? I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, those lines would be
Yeah.
destroyed because the acid in the kombucha is gonna mess that up.
And they got like 25 beers on tap. They got 6 30-barrel fermenters. They got 6 40-barrel fermenters. He scrapped the barrel program. He said, hey, we didn't really like the barrels and we didn't like the things that were coming out of them. So we scrapped it completely. Yeah, so we did a Chicago Beer Geeks video pod over there.
Oh, cool.
For the first time in like 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, we're doing this every other year. It's like leap year.
Annually, yearly episodes.
So, so we hung out there. The cans. So we left with some cans. Well, let me tell you what I had on draft. There was this cinnamon chocolate imperial stout, like imperial cake stout. That was pretty good.
Okay.
It was damn good. And then there was a double version of Lucy Juicy, which is like really kind of their flagship if you're going by sales.
Yeah.
There was a double version of that on. These beers were great. You know how we were talking about not Double Trouble, but Bell's Two Hearted versus the double Bell's Two Hearted, and how they were drastically different. Like we didn't really like the double as much. This was great. It was a nice line extension.
Okay.
But then the cans I had that we left with had a totally different vibe.
Oh, maybe they were pre his cans.
Maybe.
Pre his beers.
I wasn't as excited about the cans as I was the stuff I had on draft. So
Did you have any of the kombucha?
no, I did not. I think I had Berry White, which was like a extra.
Yeah, I've had that
It's a
before.
pale wheat with like gummy bears.
Yeah, I was like, I think they do a gummy version of it, right? Do they put gummies in it when you get it?
They do put. I think they put gummies in it like before.
Regularly.
Yeah.
So
like
they're all about putting stuff in their beer.
stuff. It's a cool stop.
I've been a couple times because it's got to be the closest brewery outside the city because it's literally like it's a mile off the blue line. So if you could walk it, you could take your bike on the blue line and just bike down the street too.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And the Chicago Dogs Stadium is right there. So if you're going to a Dogs game in the summer, you go down to Shortfuse first.
They have to have the most righteous gear of any local sports
Dogs,
team.
yeah.
Chicago Dogs.
That's my team.
I saw Brad in that hat. I'm like, man, that is a nice fucking hat right there. But
Just go to the Dog Stadium, crush some claw.
so yeah, man, Schiller Park, Illinois, man. Shout out to Shortfuse. That was fun.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
So that was Friday. Saturday was Cider Summit.
Yes.
You have gone in years past.
Correct.
I have never gone,
Like never ever.
ever. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it was set up.
You drank apple juice for 4 hours.
Yeah, it's in the Aeon Center thing. So the end room, that's like the open room.
Like the ballroom?
The ballroom, but not the like upstairs one that they used to have. I don't know if that even exists anymore. There used to be just like a big empty hall.
That's like the room before you get to the ballroom.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like it's like ballroom B or something.
maybe. But this is like lots of windows. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It's like a round room. Lots of cideries from the area.
Cideries.
I was just, I don't know. I was only there for
Like, I don't know.
2 hours maybe. I got there at the VIP session, stuck around for a little hour afterwards.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of bouncing around trying some. You do get fatigued very fast. They have the upstairs is all like mead and other things. So that was nice.
Me would have been nice.
Yeah, I did some mead. I did that Misbehavian peanut butter jelly.
Oh, with a baseball bat.
Yeah, 13% mead.
Yeah, man.
That is delicious.
Yeah, you can find that at Bottles and Cans, across street from the Green Lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Is that the one across street from the Green Lady? Bottles and Cans? I always get them confused with the one by Half Acre.
that might be bottles and cans.
Yeah.
But then there was the killer, not bee nectar. They do the Ciders, which I'm a big fan of that zombie killer.
Yeah.
So had to get some of that. I enjoyed the mead area a little better than I did the cider one.
Was mead just the VIP or mead was just a different section?
Just a different section.
Okay.
And they had some like hard ciders, like all ciders, like I don't know, like more boozy ciders. Like they had other people doing that kind of thing,
Some of those,
like malt ciders.
sometimes it's really like the what do you call it? The international ciders. Like the European ciders are usually the ones that I get excited about because I never know which one to get or B ever really just see them at my local store.
Yeah, we always talk about this where you have two things when you're at Beer Fest. You're like, well, I know I like these and I want to say hi to them. And do I try these other ones that I may never see again? So it's always hard. I tried some ciders from Minnesota, from the Twin Cities there, and those were great. The guy was doing like flights for everyone with because you had to give tickets. They're like super strict about the ticket thing, and I was like, I don't care, just take all my tickets. I just
It's like that one party. What was that? I was at Sox Park, and there's like a lady who's not that's with the building that's standing over the people pouring. So the lady pouring is kind of shaking her hand a little bit, like kind of nervous, because she doesn't want to over pour. Because they're like very serious about.
Yeah, so they're strict with the tickets. I think I just left them on a table when I walked out. I was like, someone else can enjoy the rest here. I'm out. But it was cool, like great space. If you like ciders, definitely go to it. I was standing next to some people that had spreadsheets and all like making notes. They have this Google Doc thing. They're like, well, I updated from last year and I have the notes. And it's like, hey,
About to get this W.
hey, guess what? You're going to have 4 ciders and then it doesn't matter. Like, I hate to tell you that. Your palate is ruined. 3 beers, 3 ciders. That's it. You might have standouts like peanut butter and jelly. It's 13%. It's going to overpower everything.
That's a really good meat. Yeah, I might get some of that.
But that 6% Macintosh oak aged barrel cider, you're gonna forget it. It's gonna be good.
And this is the end of Cider Summit, the week. It's a week long.
The fest ends it.
Yeah, the fest is the crown jewel of Cider Con.
Why don't you start
The week.
the week with the fest?
And just get it cracking. Because I think it's like an industry kind of trade show, they're selling machinery and, supplies and shit. It's not really like for the public, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
One of the best things I had, which kind of led into the next day, was a coffee cider from Eris.
Ooh,
That was good.
that sounds nice. I always give them a
It
show.
might have been, now that I think about it, it might have been a coffee seltzer.
Coffee seltzer?
Yeah. But it was basically a coffee thing. Like, no one else was doing that
At Cider Summit.
at Cider Summit. That was, like, it sucks that I don't even remember the name, but that was, like, my favorite. I was
damn it,
like,
Brad.
this was cool. And they were very excited to be pouring. Like, oh, I'm so glad you picked that. Like, yeah. Forget these ciders. We got this coffee booze thing. So that was cool.
You can almost never go wrong with coffee and booze. I can't tell you the last time I just complained about something that had coffee and booze in it.
I guess. I don't really like booze in my coffee.
No?
I like coffee in my booze.
Just a little drizzle of the Angel's Envy. The one that
And you're making some
on the weekend. When,
Okay. Some Irish coffee there.
The one they age in rum barrels. That one.
I like my coffee, so
I like
I don't want to mess with
I
my
like
coffee.
my coffee, okay? Get off my lawn. That's cool. Not a lot of parties, not a lot of big parties at Navy Pier like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
So
I took a few pictures, threw up a story on Instagram, so check that out.
right on.
And I biked down there, so it was
Oh.
nice. It was a nice day. This was perfect. If it would have been cold, I might not have made it all the way to Navy Pier. Because walking, just from when you enter the front of Navy Pier, this is at the very end. That sucks. It's really far.
That whole scene is deceptively large.
Really far.
It takes a long time to get to the back of that thing.
And no biking on the pier.
So
So,
it's probably for the best. Though.
yeah. You fall right in the water. After Cider Summit, you're like, oh!
Yo, we saw a lady fall on the blue line off the green line off the tracks at Beer in the Glass.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she had her bike, and she fell.
Into the tracks.
And we're like, and we all came together. We were all drunk, and we're like, man, this lady's gonna get electrocuted. So we all banded together, like 10 people, to lift this lady up.
Built a human chain.
It was bad, man.
Damn. All right.
It's only funny because she didn't.
She didn't die.
She's okay.
Yeah. So that was my Saturday, and
Right on.
I guess with the end of Cider Summit, you also went over to the cider place that's shutting down. The one Cider Summit comes to an end, and
yeah, it's
Northman. Northman was there
Yeah.
at Cider Summit,
You
and
know.
I overheard people talking, and be like, "Hey, Northman's shutting down." They're
This
like,
is it.
oh, but there's another cider place going. So people were like not concerned at all. They're like, all right.
Right. It's like, because, that cider place is shutting down. What's going in there? Oh,
A cider place.
Another place is going to sell cider.
Oh, okay. So I won't go to either then.
So I think it's like, it's weird because the folks moving in have a very similar description. You're like, okay, so so the Northman is a cider bar and a European bistro, and the place moving in is like this Michelin star chef, and this is kind of his, relaxed concept of having a European bistro
That serves cider.
that also serves cider. So there won't be like 150 ciders. There'll be like 60.
So you just flip the words. Northman was a cidery. That was a European bistro. This is a European bistro that serves cider.
So is that a whole lot different?
Stop fooling. Like, everyone's trying to trick us with this stuff. Like, you can't just turn the words around. Like, I'm going to open up a brewery called Acre Half and see. Let's do it.
No. Yeah, we know about those other guys, but this isn't that. Okay, so this is Acre Half.
We're going to do all the beers that they retired.
Okay, so none of this
You know
new stuff.
Gossamer? That's ours.
Was one that just the extra pale that just retired? Yeah, that's
Tunas.
Yeah, we got tuna.
So we got tunas.
We got tuna. We got Gossamer. We got what's the golden ale? Man, all right. I hope the evening Kolsch. We got that. That was Brad's favorite right there. Dude, they put a fucking evening Kolsch on, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. And then Brad gets it, and it's like a 3% dark beer, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you using the word Kolsch? This is not cool. So I talked to Cider Brian. He was there. He's the manager.
Oh, okay.
And Cider Brian's like, it's a really small crew. So
Is he the same? Is it the same crew that's going in the new place?
no.
Okay.
different crew coming in, but his crew, spring and summer on the way, and he's got this riverfront.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This is year 2 of the riverfront concept, and they're expanding that concept.
Okay.
So he's like, dude, our team is our team. We're not growing our team. So if we got to choose between running this bar and running that, we'd rather just run that, because they have a pub cider just called the Northman. So they're like, we're looking to get in a distro, and we're looking to, have a series of cider, cruises that run up and down all summer. He's like, that's more our style. Running that thing is what we're interested in.
Cool.
And we're not interested in both of these, so we're letting go of the restaurant. Right. So that sounded interesting. I dig the long pour in that joint where it's like,
Yeah, the Spanish cider.
Spanish cider long pour. Brian was talking about these. This sounded pretty cool too. It's like there's this gigantic northern Spanish like cider fest at the end of every August, and he wants to do a tour of some of these cideries, and it happens to be like this big seafood region.
Was he inviting us along?
I'm like, dude, I want to go to this. He's like, yeah, he thought about it last year, but he didn't execute it. But this year he wants to for sure make it happen because the restaurant will be closed.
Yeah.
So it was cool getting over there. I think I went when it opened, and then I went when it closed. So
I never went. Like Half Acre was right there, so why? I just did and when Half Acre starts serving food, it was like, oh, okay.
Like Half Acre's the stop, and then they got the shop next door.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the stop.
Yeah, and if I would probably go to Bad Apple if I didn't do Half Acre right there, and I would just forget about the Northman.
Yeah.
Northman.
Didn't do the Poron, which is basically the Spanish pour, but out of like what looks like a genie bottle, essentially. It's like a glass genie bottle, right? With the spout.
Okay.
That looks cool. I didn't get to do that. But they say you do it because the carbonation goes away really quickly. And then you're supposed to, and it comes in like these 3 to 4 ounce glasses with really thin 3 to 4 ounce glass. And you're supposed to drink it in like 30 seconds. Oh. Just like, because it really,
shots.
Yeah, you're doing 30-second shots, yeah.
Cider shots.
Cider shots.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool spot. And, it kind of came and went. They talked about it being just a couple other concepts. Like a kind of old man bars.
Okay.
So they were really proud of, like, they had a good run.
What it became.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, because there's 1,000 old man bars.
Yeah.
Only one.
Well, there's not so many anymore.
Only one cider bar, but yeah.
Not so many old man bars.
Not so many old man bars either.
I bet they have a resurgence. Man. Cool.
That's going to be, we're going to start an old man bar, and every episode of that pod is going to be.
It's going to be there.
It's going to be at the old man bar.
Isn't that just Beer Temple's podcast? Just have the beers that they want and do the podcast there.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool.
Cool.
So then also, over the weekend was Uppers and Downers and Darkside.
Right on.
We both let Chris Jacobson down.
We had him on. He talked about this being like the 8th year.
Yeah.
And there were some interesting things on there that I wanted to try.
You were going to get there, one of the first 50. I
was going to do that and do a shot of Jameson. And then Sunday rolled around, and I did nothing, Brad. That's what I did.
Played in NBA 2K?
Oh, I got, I'm in the historic domination fee. So there's 2020 domination, and once you beat all today's teams, then you go to historic domination.
Okay.
So I'm on historic domination after I beat all those teams, and it's all-time domination. All right, so.
Damn.
Don't talk about we're talking about NBA 2K.
I don't know.
It's like heroin. This is what heroin feels like right here.
Never played. So yeah, I didn't make it to Darkside. I really felt bad, but I went to Uppers and Downers first, and then I ended up coming home and being like, I'm sort of like done. Like I sort of crashed, but also had a lot of coffee, so I just didn't make it down the street. So I feel really bad that neither of us went.
We're used to giving the people what they want. We're used to rocking those 2-a-days if we have to.
Yeah.
We're used to doing that.
I was like, well, Nick went.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's got this. And he wasn't.
We were there in spirit. God damn it.
But I did go to Uppers and Downers, and I didn't even stay the whole time.
You got this fancy booklet, too, from Up and Down 2020, Talia Hall.
So Cruz Blanca was in the middle doing their kind of spotlight. They had a lime. They had a peach and another fruit that I can't remember.
Did you get the cups? Best cups on the festival circuit right there.
I left mine.
What?
Oh my god! On my bike, I biked down to
True.
Pilsen. I'm like, I'm gonna drop this. Then someone's tire's gonna break, and then, they're gonna be down. I might be up, but they're gonna be down. So I left it.
Should have brought that cup, man.
Should have went.
Oh, well, also that. Since we're talking about what we should have done, huh?
So the lime showcase was good. I had the lime saison that they offered. They were just like
Cruz Blanc is probably a case study because
Yeah,
that's why I
case
can't
study.
find it just now.
Uppers and Downers is like amazing. I was talking to Sean. He's at Goose Island. He does like social media stuff
Yeah.
for them. He's like, oh, I feel like people are getting burnt out on Beer Fest, and because I was
Yeah.
telling him about Cider Fest, I was like, see, I don't really want to just drink cider. I don't want to just drink beer. Like Uppers and Downers is like an amazing showcase of. There's whiskey, there's coffee, there's cocktails, there's I don't know, ice cream desserts.
It's a goddamn three-ring
There's
circus.
Italian beefs. There's Miller High Life.
Fucking
There's,
Guinness is upstairs.
Yeah, so many
Like,
chocolates. There's
and then it's in a
duck liver mousse things. Like, what is this?
It is in a space that, is kind of perfect for it. A kind of space that, even if you live in Chicago, you don't really get to Talia Hall. There's a Michelin star restaurant right there, Dusix. You might get to Talia Hall once or twice a year, but it's a really cool space. The space is cool. The event has a lot of different moving parts.
Yeah.
It's a fun party, especially for an annual thing. Right?
Yeah. And like the minute, I don't think I ever had a similar drink back to back. I never was like, give me a beer, I'll have another beer. I went, first thing I got there, I got a coffee. Because I was like, well, I got to get started here. I'm gonna go up first. And then I did that lime saison from Cruz Blanca.
Yeah, it looks like they had 3 compliments, they're calling them.
And then I did it was Selmoth Lou mixed with coffee, basically espresso shot in Lou. That was
Lose like their pills or lagers,
Yeah.
Kolsch maybe.
that was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't finish that one completely, and then I went to a peach ice cream cocktail from Cruz Blanca, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe like a standout thing, but I also had a Powers whiskey do right donut before that, so I was like sugar high level going on there, so that was cool. And then
A whiskey donut.
whiskey
God damn.
Powers whiskey.
Man.
I did.
That sounds great.
We talked to Kaiser about the whiskey flights thing. I did none of that. I was like, oh, I think Nick is coming later. He will
Yeah,
dive
I'll
into
get
this
into the
whiskey.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it because I was like, I can't. I'm gonna wreck myself.
Yeah.
So I left the whiskey off. I didn't even do any of the goose stuff either, and they were pouring some fun things.
Yeah, I think Goose had I think they had like BCS, the way they packaged it, but then also BCS with fresh ingredients, right?
Yeah, they did like a one with, or they were doing the Deloach, not Deloach,
Cafe Diallo.
Diallo, and then they were also doing what a real Cafe Diallo was. So you could have their version and a real one.
I tell you, man, if you have that beer and then you go to the Dark Matter across the street from Kuma's, the latest Dark Matter, dude, and you need to go there and have the Cafe Diallo and then go back and have the beer to understand, I think.
Okay. See, I should have did it. I was just like, I was feeling overwhelmed at Uppers and Downers. Like I was just like, I don't know what to drink because I want to drink it all, but I need to also still bike home.
Yeah.
So then I ended up talking to Eric Hobbs a little bit from Salamoth,
Okay.
who was formerly at Penrose.
Yes.
But he's there now. They were doing one of their city waters with tea. So I was like, oh, well, I got to do some seltzer.
Yeah.
They even had seltzer at Uppers and Downers. That was awesome. It was
Kilogram crimson tea.
Yeah, it was a brute tea. It was fantastic. And then I talked to Hobbs for a bit. We were talking about cider. He mentioned that City Water has, in the last 2 months of this year, or the first 2 months, I don't know the number, so don't quote me on this, outsold at some of their beer accounts in 2 months for the whole year. The seltzer did. So he's pretty excited for going into like these warmer months that we're starting to get into, and just kind of like this is gonna be the first time City Water is gonna be kind of in the market when it's summertime, and this is like, I think what we get to find out if seltzer becomes like a real thing or not. If it wasn't just like a blip, this is year 2. What's kind of gonna happen this time?
Yeah, I'm curious because, not that seltzer is not your father's root beer, but, there seems to be a fad every year where it's just kind of hot for that year and then it kind of goes away. Yeah. HAZE hasn't really done that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like seltzer might follow in the footsteps of HAZE and just kind of be a fixture for maybe a 3, 4, 5-year run.
Maybe, yeah.
Because we're in year 3 of like full on HAZE, right?
We were talking that he wants to know, especially this year, do people care about craft seltzer? Like, is there, like, we care about craft beer and who makes it, and we want to support those people. Do the seltzer people give a shit at all? Do they just want to drink seltzer, or do they like, oh, this is a local seltzer, I'm down for that. 1% goes to this, 1% goes to that. So I'm all about this.
It's an interesting question because there's no direct correlation between the lighter beers, like what Kolsch's and Pilsners. Just because you like a Kolsch or a Pilsner doesn't mean you would like a seltzer.
Right.
So how do you gauge craft interest in seltzers?
Yeah.
That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Yeah.
He's got to go figure it out.
So that's going to be, I think, the biggest moment, and I think we may see it with like people like either us doing podcasts or people talking about it. Like, what are people that like the industry that aren't in it? What are they kind of talking about it? Are they promoting those over others? So that should be interesting to see. I talked with Paul from Ciderlands.
Yeah, Paul used to be local.
Yeah, he was at Salmouth.
Yeah, that's right. He was brewing his small malt.
And then he had his blog for a while.
Yes, Chateau on Tap. I think that's when I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was helping with the junior board for Festival. I think we were all on it.
So said hi to him, had one of his beers.
Right on.
He gave me a very large pour.
They had a moment in the back when Chuck Sudo was the editor at the Chicagoist. Michael Kaiser would do the photos, and Paul Snyder would do the words on their beer articles in the Chicagoist. They had had a season where they were doing that together. That's when I first noticed Michael Kaiser. I'm like, man, who's this dude taking the pictures? His pictures look good.
Yeah. And I hit up Guinness a little bit. I had one of the beers from Baltimore. And yeah, that was kind of like my run. A few other coffees. Did a 3-letter words coffee, a 4-letter words coffee.
They usually roll with the Weiner crew because they're in that building, I think.
Yeah, but Weiner was there, but I didn't have a Weiner beer. Talked to a friend that was talking about Middlebrow because he was like, he just went there and said the pizza was so good. I still haven't gone to Middlebrow.
So good because they're not open on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I know. I haven't done it.
No, it shows
one of these days. He said the pizza's good.
If we do the show from there, they'd open on Tuesday.
Invite us out, Middlebrow. Come on. Yeah. But that was my uppers and downers. I don't think probably missing something I had. I already talked about that cup of stuff.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, and when you flip through this thing, there's there's foeder beers, there's sour IPAs, there's, like you said, seltzers. There's your traditional stouts, of course, but then, yeah, a wide spectrum of offerings, grisettes, Schwartz beers, and cocktails on cocktails. So there's like usually there's a Irish coffee competition beginning of the week, and the winner of that is displayed there. There's flights of whiskey, like you said. There's tons of food upstairs. Even Cruz Blanc got in on the cocktail game this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it best, man. Like you forget how many different experiences you can have at Uppers
It's
and
like
Downers.
sensory overload. I had that Powers donut. They also had I think it was Alice Italian beefs going on. So it's like, what the fuck is going on, right? Like it was amazing and also confusing at the same time because there's like so much just awesomeness packed in here that's just like I can't keep up. Like, it was cool. So uppers and downers. If you can, put it on your radar for next year. It's around this time always, this end of February.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't end up being the same day as Darkside next year.
Is it usually on a Sunday?
No, it's always been on Saturday.
Oh, that's right. They had the concert. There was some concert conflict at Thalia Hall.
So that made it a little time. I could have did Cider Summit and then uppers and downers, like a nice little ride on Saturday.
That'd have been good.
But
That's a monster weekend. Yeah.
So Darkside, we missed it. So that was our big miss of the weekend.
Yeah. Moore and Huntley had a preview party.
Oh, we missed that.
We missed that too.
I talked to Zoller
Right on.
about this at uppers and downers.
How was that?
He said it was good. The space is really nice. He told them, well, I'm not coming here. I will go to your Villa Park location because it's way closer. Because Huntley's next to Crystal Lake.
Huntley's out yonder.
But he said they may do some of the events, like the big parties, because it's a big space. So, but they opened, yeah. But same food, same chairs as the Villa Park one.
This location is the reason that Phase 3 became a thing. Because the general manager and the head brewer.
It's like, I hate Huntley.
They
I'm
were
surprised he
told-
doesn't have a beer called I Hate Huntley.
Indeed, if you listen to that one podcast, it's like they weren't asked if this was something they were cool with. They just were told, "Hey, we're starting another location in Huntley."
Damn.
And they were like, "Yeah, you gotta do that shit without us. We're gonna go do third phase." Yeah. So. Right on.
Any other spots or anything else we end up checking out?
Shout out to Wild Onion. I think I was in the North Burbs, and it was an hour 20 to the house, or 20 minutes to Wild Onion. So I'm like, I'm gonna sit out the traffic and just go to Wild Onion.
Okay, nice.
So I went up there. They're doing a Drago release party next month.
Oh, cool.
4 different flavors. That's an underrated barrel aged stout.
Okay.
I like a little Drago. Yeah, got to hang out with those guys. So we're gonna try to do something with them. That was it for my stops, man.
Cool. Well, that's it for the weekend. Before we get out of here, we got some news, right? What kind of news we got going on?
We do. Beer Advocate is in the news. They sold to Untapped. Yeah, Untapped is a lot younger operation than Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate's been around longer than just about any other beer forum,
Yeah.
right? So that happened.
Yeah, we, Ken Huntermeter and I interviewed Tim of Untapped, probably year one of them when it was 2 dudes in a loft space.
And they've it's kind of been you associate all check-ins on beer with Untapped.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
they were like just getting into beer and kind of wanted a way to like catalog it. So.
Like Foursquare for beer.
Yep.
Genius idea. I think you're starting to see them go into the space where they're competing with beer menus. I think they're different from beer menus, but I think Untapped is managing like the digital boards in some of these places too, at like bars and breweries. So they're finding their way.
I check in about 50% of the time.
There was a period where I checked in everything so I can know what the hell's going on. Then we started doing a show, and I think I just quit checking into stuff. I think because I'm more likely to post about it, right?
Yeah. I like when you go and you have a beer and then you're like, oh, when was the last time I had this? And it's like, oh, I don't know, something random, like a summertime from Goose
Yeah.
Island. And you're like, oh, I haven't had this since 2018. That's cool. Like this beer from Around the Bend. And the problem with a lot of these beers is these only exist one time. So checking into it just gives you the points rather, or like the credit rather than like the history of like, oh yeah, I remember that was the first time I had that beer. It kind of like made me think of this. So,
And Food and Wine ran this story like 4 days ago now, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, sounds like Untapped has a parent company called like Raising Glass, I think it's called. Yeah.
So it shows how unimportant Beer Advocate is at this point, right?
They're important enough to be purchased, right?
Yeah. Probably for the data that they have.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, because it's the only thing comparable to Rate Beer is Beer Advocate. Well, Beer Advocate, they give you rankings on beers, and just about anybody with a profile can go, write a review on a beer, a description on a beer, and then so it's a forum, and it's a rating system. It was never as formal as what I liked about Rate Beer was like, Rate Beer's got best new. They got awards every year. Right?
Yeah.
Like some pretty detailed awards, like in every state. Like we did it last week.
But Beer Advocate had a magazine.
Beer Advocate had a magazine.
Yeah. I don't know if they still do, but
they do a festival too. The Extreme Beer Fest. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the Beer Advocate brothers were controversial people, right? I think some people liked them, some people didn't. So, kind of amazing for Untapped.
Yeah, yeah. The trajectory of Untapped is pretty unreal, and now they're kind of shaping themselves up to be the because Ray Beer sold to Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
So they're shaping themselves up to be the source for beer.
The people's data.
The people's data.
It may be biased to hazy beers, but it's the people's data.
The minute they start doing their own annual awards and their own beer fest, they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got?
What else is going on, man? Untitled Art announced that they're doing an invitational fest.
Cool.
That's on April 25th or May 20. I'm sorry, April. No, April 25th.
April 25th. Cool.
Yeah. $50 a pop. Mikerphone has announced that the return of Smells Like a Bean, not Smells Like a Bean Spirit. Smells Like a Beer Fest.
Oh, okay.
Tickets for that go on sale March 2nd. And that's usually the anti-Dark Lord party.
But now it happens when Dark Lord used to happen.
Yeah, like,
right?
Last Saturday
week, April. Yeah.
Last Saturday in April. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's it. I was just trying to see if we got that right. Oh yeah. Oh no, Saturday, May 2nd.
May 2nd. It might be the same.
We were off. Tickets.
Has Dark Lord announced their day yet?
They did, but
no one cares. Oh, they haven't. The tickets aren't for sale yet.
I don't think tickets are going on sale yet.
So no one cares.
But the Smells Like a Beer Fest tickets go on sale March 2nd, with Saturday, May 2nd being the fest, and then it's not at the brewery. It's at the Rotary Green at Elk Grove Village, which might be like, I think they were talking about moving it to like an outdoor park of some sort, which could be even cooler than May 2nd. May 2nd
in a park. That
sounds better than the last Saturday in April, because that's why Dark Lord moved.
Yeah, because it sucks. But last Dark Lord day was warm.
Yeah.
Sunny, but then it rained. A lot.
It rained and everybody thought it was canceled.
Yeah.
And then it opened.
But the first part, it was real sunny. Sunburn sunny. Extremes.
So they take a lot of pride in having like everyone bring their A game to Mikerphone's event.
Nice. They should put us on the media list for that.
We should. We'll hook that up.
So we can get that. Go out there.
That's
sounds like a good time.
I like to see that because it's gonna be a lot bigger.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it for news, man.
That's it for news. That's it for this episode. We should get out of here. We continue to run longer and longer every week.
What is it, man? Is it the?
It's we gotta break down NBA 2K matches. Nick's training for the whatever team's gonna draft him for esports. All right, Nick. When you're not playing NBA 2K. How can people get in touch? Find you where you're at.
I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
I'm on Twitter at BRAD. Chicago Beer Pass. Chicago Beer Pass. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Nick posted up a bunch of pictures from the Shortfuse visit
Fucking A.
there. That looked awesome. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another episode. We got some beer reviews. We got another Versus series in the can that should be going up on the YouTube channel, so look out for those. Take care.
Cheers.